Welcome to Unpain Clinic podcast and YouTube channel. YouTube people, hi, and hi to podcasters too. I'm your host, Uran Berisha, here from Unpain Clinic in Summerside, Edmonton. Today, I'm actually very excited to talk to you about a condition called plantar fasciitis, or heel pain or foot pain. So it has different names. And I want to talk specifically to people that have been in pain for minimum 3 months and have tried all other options. So if you're somebody or you know somebody that has experiencing heel pain first couple steps in the morning, or every time when they are actually sitting for long period of time and then they get going again, and they have gone through most likely physiotherapy treatments, massage. They have tried stretches for plantar fasciitis, or the sock at night, or there are different options, also rolling a frozen bottle underneath your foot to alleviate the pain, but the pain comes back again. And what I've learned from my personal experience, or our experience at Unpain Clinic, is that it's very rare when somebody has actually the cause in the plantar fasciitis or in the heel pain. So I want to take you a little bit to the body anatomy and how the body functions, because there are two different things. As a practitioners, when we learn in school, we learn body parts, and those body parts have names. And we kind of create a language to communicate with each other and to tell to another practitioner what we worked on, where the problem is, we think. But we have to understand, or we almost forget in the real world, that for our nervous system, for our actual body, there are no names inside. So because you call heart, for the body, that's just a pump that it's pushing blood. You call it muscle, biceps, triceps, quadriceps. These are just fancy names, but inside the body, it's a mechanism that is going to flex your arm or extend your knee or help you do a motion. So if those mechanisms become dysfunctional for whatever reason, then your body is forced to pick the next one that is available. And that's how we create what we call it, those dysfunctional muscle patterns that have been forced on you due to an injury, due to a surgery, due to changes in your life and activities. And now you try to do your old routines, but the patterns inside the body have changed. So for that reason, we end up with chronic pains. And you go and try to fix this with exercise, and it doesn't work. And the main reason why it doesn't work, because it's almost, imagine this, if your car, the wheel of your car, it's out of alignment, and now you're trying to actually drive the car faster and hoping that it will align the wheel. No, you're just going to go faster with the car. And because you're going faster, you don't actually feel it as much. The same thing as with exercise when you are trying to correct chronic pain. You're just making the muscles and the mechanisms in the body that are already working properly to actually work a little bit more, so then they can support your system, and therefore you feel better. But as soon as you stop that, then the pain comes back. So with plantar fascia or any foot condition in general, I want you to picture this. I want you to remember this. Like, how come your foot, it's not the size of your thigh? If everybody talks that the foot is actually holding the whole body weight, then it should be a big bone, because whatever produces power in the body, whatever is responsible for body weight, it's big. It's like you have huge muscles. You have your quads, you have your hamstrings, you have your glutes, you have your lats, you have your core muscles, you have your pecs. These are the muscles that handle impacts in the body and body weight. They're responsible for that reason. Your hands, your feet are your sensors of your body. They are not designed to handle your body weight. They are designed to sense either the ground with your feet or with your, when you use your hands to sense what you're touching. That's why they have so much nerve endings. So talking about feet, the feet feels the ground. So we are meant to walk barefoot. I'm not going in that rabbit hole, or I'm not going to talk about, you know, the concept barefoot versus shoes and all that, although I'm going to touch into it because it's very important. But just imagine 10,000 years ago, people probably just had piece of leather in their foot, so it keeps their foot warm, and that's how they function. And we don't know if they had plantar fasciitis or not, but the fact that as a humans we are this much, it means that there were probably just a little bit problems in the past. Otherwise, we would not survive as a species. So nowadays we have all kind of those fancy shoes and brands and very expensive and claiming all kind of stuff that is going to support your arch. It's not going to support your arch. You have to remember, you're meant to walk barefoot. You have your foot intrinsic muscles that support about 52 bones in your foot. And what happens is foot feels the ground, gets the information. If it's flat, if it's high, sends it to the nervous system. The nervous system responds back using the big muscles to handle and to support you where you are going. But now, if there's a dysfunction on those muscles, big muscles, that impact is going to go back now, trying to find what is the next muscle, what is the next muscle, and that pressure ends up back to the foot. So an example, if you had any surgery in abdominal area, C-section, tummy tuck, appendectomy, gallbladder surgeries, or you name it, open heart surgeries, those surgeries make the muscles or the communication dysfunctional. So then your body cannot really communicate properly with the core muscles. It will move that impact to the glute muscles. But if you're somebody sitting all day in the office or driving, then you're neurologically shutting down those muscles. So then that impact is going to move to your hamstrings. They get super tired working. It moves the impact to the calf muscles. The calf muscles get so tight gradually, then they start pulling your Achilles tendon. Achilles tendon, it's attached to your plantar fascia. And then it start putting pressure on the plantar fascia. Now, because the body weight is going down and putting more pressure on it, it start thickening up the plantar fascia. And then the plantar fascia start actually rubbing against the heel spur. So the heel spur, it's a normal anatomical structure there. But because the plantar fascia start rubbing, it start getting irritated, it start giving you inflammation, and then there might be even micro tears in the plantar fascia. So plantar fascia, it's actually, it's a structure that is designed from the body to be more solid than the muscles. And therefore it doesn't have really good blood circulation. So any tendon in the body, any ligament, any thick fascia, it's designed to support the area. So once it's created, it wants to be more kind of solid, more dry. And it's built more from collagen fibers. What happens is when you have micro tears, and those collagen fibers are very dense, after a while, if your body, if you don't have enough collagen, if your nutrition is not good, if you're not walking, if you're not stimulating that your body to create more collagen and to rebuild fast enough, then your nervous system kind of detects space in that area, empty space. And it thinks, wow, I have an injury in the system. Let me create some blood vessels, some small capillaries to re-nourish that area. And it starts actually putting blood vessels into instead of the collagen fibers in the plantar fascia. And what happens is now you have a plantar fascia that it's meant to be built with collagen fibers, now has some like weed in between those fibers. And this weed, it's the blood vessels. Although blood is good, it's gonna, like, it needs to supply the structures, it's not meant to be there. And then what happened is now you end up in this vicious cycle because body cannot really rebuild the collagen fibers back. The plantar fascia becomes weaker. You still have the same dysfunction in the system. You're compensating still the same way. You got some orthotics to support the foot because, okay, my foot, it's hurting. Now you're making those foot muscles even weaker because for the body, there is something artificial supporting your foot. So they become lazy. They don't get used. They don't get stimulated. And that's how you end up in this vicious cycle. So it's probably more than enough with kind of information about plantar fascia and all this anatomy, but it's really important. This is how we think out loud. This is how we look at your plantar fascia condition. So what we do about that? So we use shockwave therapy. So shockwave therapy is the same technology as they break up kidney stones with. So now, if you're not from Edmonton, I'm sorry, people from Edmonton, they're lucky that they have Unpain Clinic here now for over 11 years. But hopefully soon, we're going to start opening more location to help people in other cities. But we're willing to help anybody in need, wherever you are in the world. Contact us through our website, unpainclinic.com, or give us a call or send us an email. And then wherever you are, we'll at least guide you to find the right place to get true shockwave treatments. Because out there in the world, in the marketplace, in the field, there are two types of shockwave. So there is one that is called radial pressure wave or radial shockwave for plantar fasciitis. And typically, that's not a true shock wave. That's just an ordinary sound wave. A true shock wave, it doesn't sound like a jackhammer. So that's how you can distinguish. You don't feel it really on the skin, but you will feel it when it hits the bone. So you need that. Or if you're lucky to find a place like Unpain Clinic where it offers three types of shock waves: the electromagnetic system, electrohydraulic shock wave, and then the radial pressure wave or radial shock wave. And we combine this based on your need. So that's what you need to look for. So with a true shock wave, what it does, it breaks down scar tissues and adhesions at like effectively over 12.5 centimeters deep in the body, or like over 4 inches. So by removing those scar tissues and adhesions, we create optimal conditions for healing. It pretty much resets the healing process. And then it stimulates your body to create new blood vessels, so angiogenesis, and then it triggers all the stem cells to come the area and to do the repair. And virtually does all of this without any side effect. So even though this is an amazing tool, we still don't go and just jump and treat the plantar fascia. If you had what I said, the surgeries, or you have a dysfunction on the hip area, on the core, we have to actually go and treat those first. So we create the foundation, we remove that compensation first, then we go after the plantar fascia. And we do this all in one session. So we don't charge per body part or like what we are treated. So when you come to Unpain, we're going to say, okay, what is one thing that you want to, if we were having this conversation a month later, looking back, what would you like for you to improve first, and that you're happy with your progress? And if you're dealing with plantar fascia or heel pain, you would focus, that's your main concern. But now, whatever we find that is related to that main concern, we go and treat all of that. And we don't look at you as pieces, because that's not how the body functions. So we typically aim for about 3 to 5 sessions. But most of the time it's like 3 sessions once a week. You can still do anything that you have been doing, because your foot still needs stimulation. You still need to move. I learned this in school. They said a door handle that constantly moves, it never gets rusted. So moving is very important. And not doing anything is the same as overdoing. Okay, sorry about that. So that's why when you do the treatment, we take care of the regeneration. You have to be active. You have to get the body going gradually so you can go back to your normal. So all our goal is to bring you to point zero. So when you get up in the morning, you don't feel the heel pain, and do anything you want after that. Okay, so always we can optimize, obviously, even athletes to perform more than what they're capable with other protocols, but today we're just talking about plantar fascia. Another thing that I want to talk about today is the heel spur. So if you're somebody that you got diagnosed with a heel spur, it's interesting. It's almost a tag that just they want you out of the office. So it's pretty much the same mechanism, but the heel spur, it's a normal anatomical structure on the foot. So what happens is it starts probably building up some calcium buildup, but I've learned this, I've seen this in the shockwave conferences where most of them are orthopedic surgeons, trauma surgeons that treat plantar fasciitis or heel spurs. But it's not typical for orthopedic surgeons, to use shockwave. In Europe and some other countries around the world, yes, there are a lot of orthopedic surgeons that start reducing the amount of surgeries and using shockwave instead. So what I learned from them is that a calcium buildup in the bone, it's not how it looks on the x-ray. It's not very solid. It's softer. It's almost like a toothpaste, to the point that they actually did a research in Turkish. So Turkish legs are fully calcified, but they never feel any pain from that. Okay, so typically when there is a more calcium buildup in the bone, it means two things. There's no maintenance, there's no good blood circulation in the area, there was a previous injury, or like the example of the heel spur is your body is putting more pressure in that bone, so your system now is sensing, okay, I need to actually strengthen this bone. But because the calcium buildup, it's actually soft, that's not the typical cause of your pain. So if you have been following me so far, what I find even myself is, from my personal experience, the cause is on the dysfunction of the hip, lower back, core muscles, and then you go to your medical doctor, get an x-ray, that's where they see, oh, you have a bigger heel spur because we took x-ray, we took a picture of your body for 1 second, and this is where the pain is coming from. But I want you to remember, pain is just a signal that is just telling you that something is off in the body. It doesn't tell you where that is coming from. So therefore, if you're like, this is even for health practitioners, like body workers, you have to follow the kinetic chain. You have to follow the basic formulas. If you have a dysfunctional muscle, you're going to have a problem with the tendon. If the problem with the tendon doesn't get fixed, then the joint, it will be overloaded, and then you end up with a joint problem. So even if we want to treat, that's what we have to follow. We have to reverse that process. And another interesting thing that I learned recently, and I've seen this always at work, and instinctively I've done those treatments, but now there's science behind it that it's like, whoa, I cannot believe that what I was actually already doing, now there's a scientific evidence. So anybody who has and actually, I just want to kind of credit this. I took a virtual conference in Berlin. It's the biggest fascia conference. It happens over every 4 years. And the top experts from the world talk into this congress for 3 days, 2 or 3 days. And it's just mind blowing like what they're able to find from this thin layer in the body and how everything is connected, and how much it's actually involved. And we forget, we just have been talking about fascia for probably last 10 years, but recently it's becoming very, very popular topic. But there was a expert, a scientist, doctor that talked specifically on foot conditions. And she said that every time when there is a plantar fascia pain, there is actually Achilles problem as well, and vice versa. So that's one single structure. So if you have foot pain, you definitely most likely have Achilles thickness, but you just don't feel it there. Or you have Achilles, and at the same time is the plantar fascia super tight. So when you have to treat that, you have to treat it all at once. And I had recently a triathlon guy, thickness, like unbelievable thickness on Achilles tendon, and I was treating it. I did 3 sessions of shockwave, no much change, only like 20-30%, and it was driving me crazy, like why it's not improving. So by the 3rd session with Achilles tendonitis, our goal is to get you over 75% improvement. And then I said, wow, I'll just go and touch and check the plantar fascia. I treated that, and boom, like after the 1st session, like right after the treatment, there was improvement. So then I start treating that, but eventually I learned from this conference that those two are very important, and they are one condition. So that's it for today for plantar fasciitis, heel pain, from Unpain Clinic. If you're somebody that needs help, and if you're lucky from Edmonton here or Alberta, it's worth it for you, or wherever you're in the world. This is available to all clients. Feel free to go on our website, unpainclinic.com, book a free telehealth session with any of the therapists, and then we'll see how we can help you. Okay, thank you, and see you next time. Bye.